randomness, choice, and infinity. Like I was saying, in programming there is no true random, because you can't have a random seed. You can't really ever produce a random value. What a lot of times the programs may do would be input the time down to the millisecond or the microsecond, and so technically you're never going to have the same value because you go so far down into the microseconds that you can't ever, and it doesn't ever repeat technically. Basically you're creating a number that is very close to random, very, very close. But if you did know that exact number, you could come up with the same value. So how does that relate to light? Or how could it relate to light? I like to think of rolling a dice and coming up with a number. We think of that typically as, a random thing. I'm going to get 1, 2, 5, 7, whatever. Well, if you think about it, all things being equal, for the people who are researchers in various subject areas, you know what that means. Basically, if everything else is equal, if all the variables could be seen, let's say the wind, the density of the air, the velocity of the dice, the various forces that are upon that dice, and the exact place that it's going to hit can all be calculated technically, right? When that dice hits, if we know exactly all those variables, we'd be able to predict the outcome of the roll, right? I mean, the reason we can't, however, is because there's too many variables. One small little thing that can't be detected, like an anomaly on the dice, onto some molecular scale for all we know, makes it very hard. I'm sure that because of the way a dice is, they'd probably be able to recreate something and predict it very well at this point. But regardless, if we take that and put it in all facets of life, we start to see a interesting picture of the cause and effect picture, where every single variable, every single thing is an input into everything else, and that it just extrapolates out. Now, I don't know if I'm going too lofty, if I'm getting too confusing here, but that's basically the start of infinity. Let me take that back. The reason it's hard for us to, how can I put it, predict, let's say, the rolling of the dice, is because of the almost or seemingly approaching infinite amount of variables that there are out there. The closer it approaches to infinity, obviously the harder it is, or the more impossible it is to predict. Now there's research out there and debates about whether infinity exists or it doesn't, and whether things that are approaching infinity are actually infinity and all this other stuff. I'm no math genius by any means, so for you all that happen to be out there, give me some input, help me figure that area out a little bit more. But basically, in my mind, we can start to see that even a choice is something that is, or could be, affected by all the variables that are out there, and possibly if I was in this exact situation with all the exact experience that I've already had and everything matched up, obviously I'd make the same choice. I mean, maybe it sounds stupid to say that, but all things being equal, why wouldn't I make the same choice? Of course I would, right? Something would have to have changed for me to make a different choice. If you think about that, it starts to be strange, because that technically means that at any single point in time, there was only going to be that one choice I was going to make anyway. Which means the next choice, and the next choice, and everything else technically is already mapped out. Now, bear with me, because this is just hypothetical. This is all, beliefs aside. And we're not talking about beliefs, and I know that sometimes that can hinder just our ability to just think about things. Because once we start thinking, oh, we don't have choice, blah, 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 that's crazy, whatever. And I'm just trying to remove myself from that, because it's the idea that I'd like to explore. That if we do have choice, then where would it be in such a potentially cause and effect? Where could the choice be if every choice we make seems to be linked, and that if all things were equal, we would only still make that choice? Where it could be is in the idea of infinity. And the reason is, if there's an infinite amount of variables, that means that basically there is not ever all the variables can't ever be accounted for, and there's always something else that could cause a variance in the formula, in the extrapolation of all of our choices. And so I guess that's basically my thoughts so far on the idea of randomness, choice, and infinity. Completely hypothetical. If we look at the laissez-faire, the all things being equal, why would we make a different choice? The fact that, there is no such thing as random in the regular computing environment, and really, if there is a such thing as randomness, honestly, I'd like someone to tell me what is actually random. Where is it? Tell me something that is truly random, that if all things weren't being equal, it would be different, or a change would occur, or something is there. I'd like to hear your thoughts. So, that is the first random seed. Very lofty, very strange, potentially. Not sure how well I communicated the ideas. Maybe I need to start doing an outline and so I can better formulate my ideas and communicate them. But hey, it's my first time, so give me your thoughts, and see you next time.